Well, hello and good morning, everybody. We're doing it a little bit earlier today because, well, your girl ain't been asleep. So I decided that the best thing for us to do is for us to meet while I still got a little bit of energy in me. But anyway, it's still morning and you can still bring your coffee, and I hope that you are. So let's get right into some of the stories that we're looking at. The other day we were talking on TLP Headlines with a Voice about some of the amazing things, and we're going to touch base on that a little bit later today because possibly by then I would have gotten some sleep and I would be able to, get down with you guys. But anyway, let's look at a couple of stories that I think might interest you. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is Beijing continues coercion campaign banning imports from 10th Australian arbiter. Beijing has suspended imports from Australian meat company, citing a recent COVID-19 outbreak that saw 140 individuals infected with the disease or the virus. What does that sound like? What does that sound like? Sounds like somebody don't want to do no business with somebody. But anyway, Beijing has suspended imports from a 10th Australian meat company, citing the outbreak. And in Nakorte is where it's from. It's in South Australia. And it's run by a meat processing giant, Tays, or Teys, who received notification of the suspension on January 29th from the General Administration of Customs of the People's Republic of China. In mid-January, the company was grappling with an outbreak of COVID-19 that saw supermarket giant Woolworths briefly suspend meat processing at the Nara Corte site. Regarding the China trade ban, John Langbridge, corporate affairs manager, said that they had not costed the potential loss in the trade. Quote, I would have an idea, and I don't have any idea at this stage, and it's entirely in the hands of the Australian and the Chinese government. That's an easy way to get out of it. Historically, other plants have been temporarily suspended to China out of Australia, and they are waiting to get back on the list. So apparently, after they jack up with them, they don't put you back on the list for quite some time. So even they're having meat issues. Now that's sort of creepy though, because they're usually, well, no, I shouldn't say that, because I have noticed that on a couple of occasions in the past they have pretty much kept stuff well hidden. Let's just put it that way. And moving right along. Now, remember the other week when we were talking about Tesla? And I was saying, homeboy is upset and he's mad at the president because the president was saying, well, you know what? We're looking at Ford. We're looking at Chevy, getting the Chevys and the Fords. I hope y'all brought your coffee, because this is a little earlier today than we had it scheduled for, because I anticipated being in the bed and then getting up, and I never went to sleep. So here we are. And you left with what's left of me when I ain't had no sleep. And I don't know why I couldn't sleep this morning. How many of you guys had that issue? Did anybody in here not have the issue of not being able to go to sleep? I could not go to bed. William, I don't understand. I just don't get it. Amy, hey baby, I don't understand. Stacy, did you get some sleep? Did anybody get any sleep? Oh, you always have your coffee. I forgot. Amy, my girl. Amy be having her coffee. Well, I hope other people see the alert, because I would hate for them to not show up. You too, William? You too? Oh my gosh. So it's not just me. I don't understand it. My poor husband, he couldn't get any sleep because I kept tossing and turning, and then I intercede, and then I pray, and then I toss and I turn and I pray a little bit more, because I was like, okay, well maybe it's so. Amy said she slept like a baby. Morning, Rebecca Ann, 1965. We're just talking, Rebecca. I could not sleep. Did you get good sleep? I could not sleep at all last night. Whatever. I'm glad you guys came out to the jazz and coffee this morning. What, you too? You ended up on the couch. See, Rach? Oh, I don't understand. Good morning, Mark. How are you, Mark Schumann? So I could not sleep, and I could not figure out why. No sleep either. So that means we were all up at the same time. Man. Well, listen. There is this big recall. Now, I don't remember, I don't know how many of you guys was in the party last week when I was bagging out Mr. Tesla. And, hey, pretty lady, good morning. You had a hard time falling asleep? Yeah. Yes, me too. Look, everybody in here, Sharon, everybody. But Sharon, do you remember, anybody in here remember last week when I was bagging? We used to call it bagging. We used to talk about somebody playing the dozens between Mr. Tesla and Biden. If you guys remember that last week, well, look at this story, because I'm sure you guys have seen it, but I had to wait until today because yesterday we still had New Moon Day Sabbath, and the day before was actually Sabbath, right? So I chilled. I did some things and tinkered around the house yesterday because I could, but that was it. Well, listen, Tesla will recall 54,000 vehicles by issuing an over-the-air software update disabling a feature called rolling stop found in the full self-driving beta software documents on the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration's recall site today, which was yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. Because when I saw this, I was like, oh, it's 2 days ago, but I saw it yesterday. I was like, man, I wish I could go and say something, but 54,000 vehicles, that's a lot of cars. That's not like, oh, well, just bring it back in and we'll change the training wheels off the bicycle. It's nothing like that. These 54,000 vehicles. I wonder, let's see. It goes on to say that Tesla's going to recall the vehicles with a full service driving beta running firmware release, whatever. Looks like whatever, a bunch of numbers or newer. The feature in question, rolling stop, permits the vehicle while operating in the full self-driving beta to drive through a four-way stop intersection at up to 5.6 miles an hour if a list criteria are met. Isn't that basically, you can see, and you just roll through them. I'm not tripping. Y'all know y'all be rolling through them too. You sort of stop, especially if it's one you want to stop, and you sort of glance right, left, but you don't roll at 5.6 miles. That's actually quite fast. You may, roll. We call them California stops. And in California, you roll, just get to the stop sign, you look both ways. It's like a quasi stop, but not like a really stop. Does that make, am I telling too much? Am I telling on myself? Well, it's like a quasi stop, but it's not. But anyway, they're saying that they're going to fix this because up to 5.6 miles an hour, that's what they were doing. Yeah. Entering an all-way stop intersection without coming to a complete stop. Wow. You snitch. You making us. It's like a snitch car. It is a snitch car. The car is a snitch. Okay, let me be quiet. Because I also, in as much as I do know that they, that the, California stops are really popular in California. I also know a couple of people who were related to some other people that was not friends of mine, but people that I heard of, okay, that would, make sure they waited right there at those stop signs so they could fall over and say, oh my God, you ran me over. That's all they ever did. But yeah, you do? Yeah, you call them California stops there too, see? And so this is a snitch. This car is a snitch. It's really... The conditions that must be met for the rolling stop feature to activate include it being enabled in the FSD beta profile settings, which is stuff that's totally Greek to me, and that the vehicle is approaching a four-way stop, okay? The firmware is what they're going to work on, and they're going to fix it, and they're going to stop it from doing all that. Tesla said it was not aware of many collisions, injuries, or fatalities fatalities related to this condition. The update is going to be free to owners. So for those of us who, can really afford that Tesla, that shiny Tesla, driving down the road, big old light bulb just getting it. A light bulb just getting it down the road. Now, I don't really want to talk about this because I just got to reading it over on Headlines with a Voice, and I don't know what we call ourselves doing, but apparently we've been over there causing havoc allegedly. And like I told you guys the other day, I'm going to start saying allegedly because some of this stuff is just unbelievable. But allegedly, according to this morning, they basically said that the president on Twitter stated that we had done some stuff we shouldn't have been doing. Okay. Over there in Syria. Why? I have no clue. I have no clue. None whatsoever. None. Another story that I just put up over on Headlines with a Voice, I'm going to bring that to you as well in case you didn't get a chance to see it, but we're going to talk about it over here. See, there I had to just report it, but here we can get a chance to chat about it. Well, because it's Fefe's Cafe. We're having coffee. So he got himself involved in some stuff over there and actually was sort of proud of it, which I don't get. I mean, that to me, I don't get to, but we're going to let y'all know exactly what happened a little bit later on in the afternoon, in the morning. I'm going to tell y'all a little bit more in the morning. So this is what we did, allegedly. And I have to say allegedly because I can't believe that we did this. I really can't. I have a problem with believing it. So let me share it with you. Let me share this with you. Okay? Okay, here we go. Look at what we did. Look at what we allegedly did. Man, I don't understand why. I need to take the button from this cat. Really, seriously. Yeah. So the top ISIS leader was killed in a counterterrorism raid in Syria, Biden says. Why? Why are you messing with people? Don't you got enough stuff to do? I mean, come on now. Wow. Here he is. Last night, in my direction, U.S. military forces successfully undertook a counterterrorism. Okay, let me stop. Last night, at my direction, the United States military forces successfully undertook a counterterrorism operation. Thanks to the bravery of our armed forces, we have removed from the battlefield Abu Ibrahim al-Hassami al-Qurayshi, the leader of ISIS. WhiteHouse.gov, a statement by President Joe Biden, the White House, last night at my direction, and it goes ahead and repeats it, and he says, I will deliver remarks regarding this operation later this morning. Why? Let me read some of the replies. Let's read some of the replies. I'm going to take you over here and let you read some of the replies. That's usually the funny part of any post, okay? Any post, that's generally going to be the funniest part of your day. And here we go. Okay, let's see. It says, let's see. You're unable to view this tweet because this account owner limits who can see the tweets. Oh, for real? Word. You mean y'all not letting me see? Word. Okay, cool. No problem. Anyway, let's see what maybe this one has something on it. I suppose there's room for 2 commanders. I don't know what that is, but I guess I can't see. This person says, you're truly making America great. Thank you, Mr. President. Maybe he can pay off my student loans because you certainly aren't doing it. Wow. What is this? I don't know. I guess because I couldn't see the other tweet. Let me see if maybe that was just something wrong with I don't know why I can't see the rest of the tweets. Maybe that was something else. Maybe it was somebody else's. So let me just go right here. Let me just go there. And let's see the tweets. Oh, okay. Let's see. Here we go. I'll deliver remarks regarding this operation later this morning. That's what the president says. Is it true that 6 children also killed in the strike? Well, yeah, I did see that too. And let's see, who is this? Al Stewart replying to at President of the United States, we mashed up at Barack Obama bin Laden speech with a real Donald Trump's al-Baghdadi speech, and the results are amazing. Okay, let's see.
And they did a lot of blasting, even not going through the front door.
By the way, when Obama went on TV to announce that they'd killed bin Laden, he spoke for 9.5 minutes. Trump yesterday did 48 minutes on this. And for further comparison...
Okay, it's okay. I don't need no troubles. Let's see. Removed from the battlefield. Does that mean killed or captured and taken to a black site, reassigned to another mission? Are you being intentionally ambiguous with your choice of words? This person says, I like it. It's a need to know basis and you don't need to know. Well, then he shouldn't have came out of his little hovel and shared that with us. He should have stayed inside of his cave instead of coming out sharing it if we couldn't know. Trump would never be able to accomplish something like this. Thank you, Mr. President. This dodo says. Okay, the next person says, can we remove student loans from the battlefield next? You idiot. Love how other issues are mixed into the comments. Okay, well, you know what? You're a dodo as well. Everybody's a dodo when I have no sleep. Okay, thank you. God bless America, and may God bless our troops. You're another one. Dope. It's worthy to mention he was just 200 meters from the Turkish border in an area under Turkish influence. Al-Baghdadi was hiding in the same exact region. Nobody has anything really, really gritty to say. My full congratulations, Mr. President. May God Almighty bless and protect him. Who are you? Oh, boy. Bootlickers. Really? These have got to be people they hired. These have got to be. Another righteous over-the-horizon strike seems to have removed more than one person from the battlefield. Just post-adolescent boys playing video games like they did in junior high school, only now it's called Call of Duty Nighttime Special Ops. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, get this man. Somebody get him. He doesn't have any good stuff. You can't bag on people anymore. You know what I mean? It's like you used to be able to bag on people. Now you can't bag on anybody. They take all the fun out of all of it. They've taken out the fun out of everything. And now you can't say anything. He really does need an app. He really honestly does. I have no idea why he is messing with Syria. You know, it's just like he's like... This man seriously needs to be removed. I don't even know why we're still holding on to this guy. I'm sitting here trying to read some of this stuff just for entertainment, and it's really sad. It really honestly is. I wish there was a way that I could really, really glance at some of the real juicy stuff that I really want to. Because when I tell you this guy is nuts, he's absolutely nuts. Absolutely. He is. He's a special case. He is a special case. Mm-hmm. Yep. So, with that in mind, I don't know. You think he found oil, but you're not sure? I don't know what this cat found. I don't know what he needs to find the Messiah is what he needs. But to be honest with you, I don't even think that's possible. I really don't. So, there's that. I don't know. And then you got Miss Pelosi. And I don't want to read that story because I don't know if people have already... if this company would allow me to read their story. I don't know why they wouldn't, but I don't know if it'd be welcome here, but I'm going to paraphrase everything by saying she really does not want anybody to have anything negative to say about people going out, being in Congress and being able to buy stocks. But I don't even know why she's having the conversation because they've already done it. They've already bought all the stocks. She and her husband both. They bought a boatload of stocks. Whole bunch of them. Whole bunch of them. Okay, so Just so you guys know, hey, R. Jones, there are so many layers, she says. It's a part of the Belt and Road for China. Yeah, as usual. Everything is for them. And they're so focused, Stacy. They stay so focused. Okay, so listen. So tomorrow, right, I'm going to start Dr. B's Paracleanse, right? So with my coffee this morning, guess what I have? And I don't even care that I'm saying it. I have no shame. I'm having a red velvet and cream cheese cupcake. I am. And I really don't care who knows it. So that's why I'm telling you. Okay? Because it is my coffee and jazz moment. Yeah. That was just a little segue to let you understand why I'm smacking. Okay? So, R. Jones says there are so many layers. Stacy says it's a part of the Belt and Road Initiative. And SK says, I do not know how that woman is even still there. Ooh, she did buy her way in. Yes, yummy, Rachel. Yummy, Amy. Oh, I have to because this cleanse is going to be supposedly massive. I haven't had one of his cleanses in years. I did buy one several years ago, but of course he's upgraded it so much since then. And so I know that it's going to be an amazing thing. I hope to feel better when I'm done. I did this many years ago. And at the same time, there was a colon therapy place there in California. So I went there and they did that. I had like a 3-day series with the lady there. And then I used his stuff and wow. Well, can I tell you that my feet before the colon therapy and before the, and this is not, she's obese. We can't even have a conversation, but let me just go ahead and say this. This is not telling you guys to do what I did. I'm simply telling you one of my occurrences that one of my, situations that I had as we're chilling here. This is a chill morning, right? This is just chilling. This is guys and gals chatting. And this is not in any way, shape, or form any medical advice. This is not telling you to replace your medical physician with what I am experiencing or sharing with you. I'm telling you what I did. Okay, having said all that, anyway, getting to the good part. Anyway, my feet were hurting prior to going to see the lady and starting his stuff, right? But like on the 3rd day after seeing her, day 1, day 2, day 3, with this colon therapy place in California, and then having his stuff go for as many days as it did. The 3rd day, on that 4th morning, my feet hit the floor. No more pain in my bottom of my feet. No more pain in my legs. I mean, everything was just unbelievable. I didn't even know that I was in pain until I started taking his stuff and until I went to the lady. Okay? So yeah, I'm grubbing up today. And if he's listening, it's going to be all right. Okay? It's going to be just fine. Don't worry. I don't want you worrying because I'm going to use the box. All of it. Okay. But anyway, that's what I mean with my coffee. And somebody just clicked off. Who just left me? I had 11. Now I'm back down to 10. Who just left me? Where'd you go? All right. Now let's look at some more of this stuff here. Let's get down to the get down. Now scientists, and this came from my lovely assistant. Scientists engineer new material that can absorb and release energy. Enormous amounts of energy. Let's get into this story. I like this kind of stuff. I like the history. I like the science stuff. I love you too, SK. All right, I'm gonna let y'all see it. Look at this. What is this? Scientists engineer new material that can absorb and release enormous amounts of energy. A team of researchers from the University of Massachusetts Amherst recently announced in the proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences that they had engineered a new rubber-like solid substance. that has surprising qualities. It can absorb and release very large amounts or very large quantities of energy, and it is programmable. Taken together, this new material holds great promise for a very wide array of applications for enabling robots to have more power with using additional energy, to helmets and protective materials that can dissipate energy more quickly. Quote, "Imagine a rubber band," says Alfred Crosby, the professor of polymer science and engineering at UMass Amherst, and the paper's senior author. He says, "You can pull it back, and when you let it go, it flies across the room." Okay. Now imagine a super rubber band. When you stretch it past a certain point, you activate extra energy stored in the material. When you let that rubber band go, it flies for a mile. For a mile. Well. This hypothetical rubber band is made out of a new metamaterial, a substance engineered to have a property not found in naturally occurring materials. What are they going to use this for, you guys? They're giving this information, but what are their real plans? That combines an elastic rubber-like substance with tiny magnets embedded in it. This new elastomagnetic material takes advantage of a physical property known as phase shift to greatly amplify the amount of energy that material can release or absorb. A phase shift occurs when a material moves from one state to another. Think of water turning into steam or liquid, concentrate, hardening into a sidewalk. Whenever a material shifts its phase, energy is either released or absorbed. The phase shifts aren't limited to changes between liquid, solid, and gas states. A shift can occur from a solid phase to another phase. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of that scene in The Matrix. Doesn't it? Going from one form to another, going from one phase to another phase. That's what it reminds me. Go gadget on steroids. Exactly. I'm like, really? You're doing all of this with this stuff? Why? But why? That's gee whiz. And the way they sort of slide it in there to us, like, here you go. Here, look at this. It's nothing. Just read this a little bit. And then later you're going to see exactly what happens. You know what's really concerning me now that I'm getting off this topic, because I'm really going back over here thinking about China and Russia being buddies. I'm really tripping off of this, because I'm starting to think this might not be as I don't know. I'm just looking on the other side where you guys can't see this, but I'm on the other side and I'm looking at new news that's popping up regarding these two cats together. I don't know what is going on with our wonderful country, but it does not look like it's going to end well. No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. And did you know that Japan ends decades of aid to China? Japan's long-term aid to China will end March of this year. The official aid covering finance, technology, and training gave a much-needed boost to China's economic growth over 40 years, which regrettably the communist ruling regime concealed from Chinese people and moved the country even further from democracy and freedom, experts say. The Chinese government officials Development Assistance, or the ODA, reported the complete end of the aid, according to a report by the Japan International Cooperation Agency, a government agency that delivers the bulk of the ODA. Earlier, in October of 2018, former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe or Shinzo Abe, I don't really care, Shinzo Abe, announced that Japan would end aid to China during a visit to the developing country. The director of the Institute of Asian Culture and History and Politics told the Chinese edition of the Epoch Times that the Japanese government has been supporting China's economic development since the 1980s. While it is a great pity that the Chinese Communist Party did not tell the truth to the Chinese nation, the CCP has been worsening the relations between Japan and China with its lies. This is all alleged, because I have not vetted this, but this is what they say. You see. So I'm just going to say allegedly. Okay. Just allegedly. Now, it goes on to say that the Japanese government and the people have been helping the people under the CCP regime who see us as enemies since the CCP regime was established in 1949 with all its propaganda, and its regime was built on lies. Japan has religious beliefs and freedoms while Chinese violates it as an enemy. The official stance is in line with the public opinion. Like the United States and other Western countries, Japan had expected that China would become a richer, more democratic, and internationally connected country through foreign aid. However, on the contrary, the Chinese side is moving further away from these things. Do you know why they're moving further away? They're moving further away because of the fact that that is not going to ensure that they get closer or that they become better, because people, become more quote unquote democratic. The whole democratic thing it doesn't work for everybody. And I'm not saying that, China is right or wrong. I'm not saying any of that. I don't feel like being bothered with these people because this platform really is theirs now. And I see that. But what I'm trying to say is this. When we consider how much we go into other countries and push the topic, and I'll use us as an example, the topic of democracy and all that stuff, it always appears to me to be a situation where we end up jacking up other places. We do. And then the reason why I'm saying this is because we then get in and okay, let's use us as an example. Let's isolate just us. Okay, so we got all this democratic stuff going on. We got the right to vote. We got the right to choose who we want to come into office in our own communities and our government and all that good stuff. But don't they do a lot of dirty stuff? Yeah, they do. They do a whole lot of dirty stuff. So I'm really saddened to see, and I did not know that Japan was footing the bill for them. I had no idea. I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked at all. But I had no idea that they were footing the bill. Did you? I didn't. But I did sort of wonder why they were sort of like in the cut. And I do remember when I was a little girl hearing more things were made in Japan. But I had no clue that they were footing the bill. Now, it stated that Japan just might be, which I believe it will be, the maybe a big gigantic superpower here in a very, 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 very quick minute, and that they may stay up on top for several years thereafter. I don't see us ever coming back on top. There's no way you could recover from this. We are an embarrassment on a lot of different levels, and I probably will not keep this live up because I don't need no trouble. But I am saying that to be very honest. I don't see, I know, I don't understand how China and Japan have fared this well and have fared this way, but I have no idea. I had no idea that Japan was giving them money. Did you? I did not know that. All I knew was when I was a little girl, I remember hearing a lot about, Japan making all the TVs, making all the stuff, making everything in America. And then we had the big Made in America thing. And then that thing went out and then everything was in China. So that's sad. That is sad. What I'd like to see is everything just take a reshape. Ronnie was saying the other day, talking about how did he put it? It was what the other guy said, but he was saying it in biblical terms about having a reset. I wish everything would just reset all over and that all these bad folks would just go away. I really do. I did too, SK. I did too. I did too, but let me let you see the story so that you guys can go at your leisure and see exactly where it came from. There it is right there. I had no idea. Japan ends right here. Excuse me. Okay. Japan's Prime Minister, Fumio Kishida, speaks during a press conference in Tokyo, Japan, but this was in December 21st of 2021. Japan ends decades of aid to China. So they just straight gangsters. China is, they gangster. They gangster with it. We're going to get the money and we're going to do what we want to do with it. And that's it. So Japan and China relations are a dead end as long as the CCP exists. It says with its lies, its experts say. And then it goes on here. Japan's long-term aid to China will end in March. I had no clue. None. The official aid covering finance, technology, and training gave a much-needed boost to China's economic growth over 40 years, which regrettably the communist ruling regime concealed from the people. I had no idea. This right here, this should be on the front of everything. I remember the other day when I made mention that Modern A had gotten approval, FDA approval. And somebody on the other channel says, you know, I don't watch the news often. The young lady says over the weekend, she says, but I'm amazed that I haven't heard the story. And I was like, well, thank you, I think. And I think that's because they keep some of these types of stories below the wire. Now, I don't know why people didn't know about and I do call them Modern A because their original name was Mode RNA. So I call them Modern A. But in any case, I digress. My point is, the reason why I'm amazed at this story is because, like the other story, dealing with them receiving full FDA approval, they stayed way under the wire. I had no clue. I had no clue. Look at this right here. Japan's assistance to China. Excuse me. Now, these things right here, the Japanese electronics, these are the things that I remember. But now everything looks like it's all Chinese, right? Japan's official development assistance website cited then Prime Minister Ohira as saying, quote, "We believe that a more prosperous China will contribute to making the world a better place. Japan strongly commits to providing assistance to China and its efforts to modernize based upon such expectation from around the world." According to the Chinese language Epoch Times, on November the 8th, 2018, Japan's ODA policy placed the country as China's largest aid donor, accounting for more than 60% of its global aid. But why? I don't understand why. I don't get it. The ODA takes the form of capital, technology, and human resource development. As of 2015, Japan had provided 3.66 trillion yen, or equivalent to $32.2 billion in cumulative assistance to China. $32.2 billion. Whew. Now, wait a minute. I'm not, you know what? I'm going to have to start to pare some of these channels down, because there was a story that I put on one of these channels, where it was talking about how much we had given in our COVID-19 aid, the package that we had given. Yeah. And it was huge. And China got a big chunk. And I believe it was also not just China got a chunk. Everybody got a chunk. We're paying money for everybody. Yeah. But this is $32.2 billion in cumulative assistance to China, including 3.3 trillion yen, or 29.4 billion, in concessional loans, more than 157.5 billion yen, or $1.35 billion, in non-reimbursable assistance and more than 184 billion yen, equivalent to $1.62 billion, in technical assistance covering 367 large-scale projects. It has brought China startup capital from the modernization and support of China's infrastructure construction and economic development. And they're going all over Africa and everywhere. Like they are flossing. That's a gangster. That is straight hood. Good morning, M. Leslie. They're going everywhere. Can you see that? That's amazing. That's amazing. I remember made in Japan and then it was made in Taiwan. Yes, that's absolutely right. That is absolutely right, SK. That is the progression. That is how I remember. You're right. You are right. Yeah, it did go from Japan and then to Taiwan. I remember that. Well, they just spread the wealth, didn't they? Mm-hmm. Yep. That's what they did. No, I can't. I can't imagine that. SK. I can't. That's amazing. Yes. Yes. But you know what? I'm going to say this. What I have noticed is, Messiah is really, really, really coming a lot sooner than we think. I feel, because there's just so much evil and corruption that's going on. It's I mean, gee whiz. This stuff is amazing. Yes. And it's like a love-hate relationship, Sharon Marie. But it's like, really seriously, y'all is gotta come quick. I mean, I'm not trying to rush nothing. But what I'm saying is, with all of this corruption, how does this bubble pop? You know what I'm saying? It's like, what is the pinnacle to all of this? Gee willikers. Scan family, good morning to you. Everyone, good to see you. It's freezing here. 8 degrees with a wind chill of 21. Yikes. Yikes. Whew. I'll be so happy, I tell you. I just want to be found doing what pleases him. And I know eating this red velvet cupcake this morning might not make him happy. So maybe I should put it down. I'll be glad when I start this little thingy here. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's what is the pinnacle? You know what I mean? What is their end goal? What is the, it's like everybody's got everything pointing to everybody. You know what I'm saying? And then, I don't even want to get on him. I don't even want to get on the other Korea guy. I really don't. I really don't want to get on him. I really don't. Yeah. So, why are U.S. police officers using China's surveillance tech? Huh? I don't know why, but let's see. Let's read it together, shall we? Let's come to a conclusion ourselves, and before we get out of here. I'm so glad you guys are listening to me while I feel so sleepy. But let's check this out, shall we? Why are police officers right here? Here it is. This is from John Mack Gilloan. Bless your heart, baby. I hope I haven't badgered your name, because I be badgering names. And I'm sorry. Bless your heart. Okay. It's a commentary. The Biden administration imposes restrictions on a number of Chinese drone makers in December of 2021. One of the companies targeted was DJI, the world's leading drone manufacturer based in Shenzhen, China's answer to Silicon Valley. DJI had allegedly supplied drone technology to Chinese military forces to surveil the Uyghur Muslims in China's Xinjiang province region. Okay, the region. However, as the BBC noted at the time, banning Americans from buying and selling DJI shares was largely symbolic, as DJI is not a publicly traded company. U.S.-based consumers can continue to buy and use DJI drones. Just because you can still buy and use surveillance technology made in China does not mean that you should. In fact, you really shouldn't. But try telling that to Chula Vista Police Department in San Diego. According to the city's website, Chula Vista boasts more than 52 square miles of coastal landscape, canyons, rolling hills, mountain, quality parks, and miles of trails. Chula Vista is a leader in conservation and renewable energy. It is also a leader in the use of surveillance drones, more specifically, surveillance drones made in China. I'm hoping that, I hope you guys can hear this because somebody is texting me and let me see, I hope I am not being, nope, that's nobody. That's nothing. Somebody wanting somebody to buy something. Nope, I'm not buying nothing. All right, so let's continue. It goes on to say, let me reread this right here. They most definitely do, as this person says he has documented. Remember, I'm quoting him. As I have documented elsewhere, long before the Biden administration decided to take action, DJI has close links with the Chinese Communist Party, and there's reason to believe that any data gathered in the United States is sent back to Beijing. But why? We need to be asking the question, how could that be possible? Why would you send something to somebody if they don't have a vested interest in the people or the place? Let's go on. Now, before going any further, he writes, it's important to state the following. This is not an attack on police officers. I am, in fact, a vocal supporter of what police officers stand for, he says. He continues, quote, this piece is designed to reiterate the dangers posed by China-made tech, he says. If police officers insist on using drones, then why must the technology come from a company that has close ties with Beijing? Who knows? The missions of the CVPD's unmanned aerial systems are programmed, we're told, he goes, is to provide airborne support to the police operations in a safe, responsible, and transparent manner to preserve the peace, reduce response times, and increase the quality of life in Chula Vista. But what is up with us? America is just, you know what? We have become a flea market. I'm going to leave this link in the description for you guys. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this in. Y'all can read the rest of this because we have become the flea market. Let me get out of this because I'm about to go off. And I don't want to go off this early in the morning. But we are a flea market. To me, I mean, I feel like we're just a flea market. Right? Yeah. Yeah. We may as well just be a flea market. That's all we are to me. To me, I feel like we are a flea market. That's what I feel like. I feel like one of those thrift stores. Vines Dresser Branch, hey, how are you? That's what I feel like. I feel like we're just one big thrift store. Just come and get what you want. Anything you want, just come and get it. Just come and, stick your head around, poke around, look in. It's like a zoo. It's a zoo. Why are we using their technology for any purpose at all? That I don't understand. I don't get it. Why? What do we need any of this to? Don't we have any companies in the United States, if you needed to do that, and we become so overzealous with the surveillance anyway. And what you sending it back to China for? What you sending it to China? I didn't come from China. What are you doing? Nobody asks these questions. And these poor people in these cities, most of them, I don't even think most of them even know. We're probably finding out some of the news that they don't even know. And that's the sad part. You say you want a cupcake too? You say everybody want a cupcake now. This is a good cupcake. It really is. And like I said, if Dr. B is listening, I want to tell you something. I'm definitely going to start it. And it's the last sweet thing I'm eating. But this cream cheese frosting, It's truly the business. It truly is the business. This is the business. Now, I don't know who else out there got his system, but I would love to say that I wish that we all could have started together. However, he blessed me with one because you guys bought some from him. So when you guys bought one from him, his company blessed me with one. Well, because I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not the type of person to buy anything for myself. And I still wouldn't have gotten this for myself. I would have paid bills at the house. I would have bought my grandson's stuff. I would have paid bills at the house. Or I probably would have paid bills at the house. So I'm just very, very appreciative of all of you that did purchase from him, because I am glad to say that after I am done eating this divine and delicious, deep, tasty, they must have had a sister or a brother man in there, or a nice little southern. They got somebody southern, and I don't care if they're a sister or brother. If they somebody southern got in their bakery at Publix and made these red velvet cream cheese cupcakes for your girl. I don't know who it was. But you know what? I'm going to tell you something. It don't matter what shade you are in the South. They throw down. People in the South know how to eat. People in the South know how to cook. You can go to anybody's house in the South. Well, with the exception of a couple of people. You know what I mean? You're looking at people's table saying that those are not raisins on that table. No, raisins don't move. So some people, you just don't want to go to everybody's house. But Publix is the business. You are absolutely right, R. Jones. They are the best. Okay? So, yes. Yes, I know. But we just don't know it. And like I said the other day, it's like they have all of their fruits and vegetables being grown here. From what I saw during researching a certain area, people's rabbis uphold communistic ideals. We use their tech as well. And I don't get that, Rachel. I just don't get it. But like I said the other day, this is just a mess. It's just, but your girl ain't been asleep. That's the reason why I'm a little off my game today, but it's okay. Because I am going to go to sleep now. I have the rest of my last little bit of coffee. Isn't that crazy? That's like an oxymoron. I'm having my coffee this morning with you guys, but I still say I haven't been to sleep. However, I am at the point where when you're sleepy, and you don't go to sleep, yeah, that part. And I think maybe I'll put on one of my wiglets today, like my little thingy here today there. Maybe I'll do that and put on some makeup today. Maybe I'll do that for my show that I have at what time? What time? Anybody? I think we got a 4:00 show, don't we? Let me see. I got a 4:00 show somewhere. Okay, yeah. I got a 2:30 show on Headlines with a Voice, going over some of the week's highlights. So I better go get into bed. And then I have a 4:00 show. I told you we can't make this stuff up. On that channel. And that would be on TLP Headlines with a Voice. Okay, so I've got 2 shows. And then tomorrow, we're going to be doing our Doom Flickum. Okay. All right, so that's good. Has anybody seen... Well, I'll just check on her. But anyway, I digress. But yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing. I think I'll put on a wiglet. I think I'll put on one of the wiglets. Yeah. And put some eyes on. Yeah, that's what we're going to do today. So you guys get to see my face. So I got to go get some sleep so I don't have a puffy face at that point, at that time and stuff. All right, so if anybody else did go and get, I do, Rachel. So if anybody else did get the Dr. B's cleanse and you want to start with me, email me and let me know that you got it so we can start together. Okay? Okay. All right, you guys, y'all take care. Remember what we always say, the man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of the Most High. You guys take care of yourselves and take care of one another.